It's kind of crazy that Aaron Rodgers has shown up.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is in Pittsburgh camp.
Finally.
He is taking reps with the Pittsburgh Steelers today. And then after that, he's strolling to a podium. He's slated to speak to the media in Pittsburgh, PA today, as soon as we're off the air today. So there's that. And I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. I don't know what he's going to say. If anybody asks him questions about where he's been, why it took so long, it's a personal thing. Will he share? I don't know. The guy signed his contract yesterday. As you know, we don't traffic in this sort of personal conversation, but when the guy signed his contract, is that a wedding ring on his left hand? Is he sitting there signing his contract?
It looks like one.
It certainly looks like one. I don't know if it has anything to do with this. The man is a 41-year-old. He could do whatever the hell he wants with his personal life. And personally, I don't care. I just care what happens when he shows up for the Pittsburgh Steelers and he starts throwing with the non-ring finger hand. You know what I mean?
It's generally the finger when, if you were to get married, Chris, it is the finger that men traditionally put the ring on.
That's true.
You know, that's just all we're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I mean, I, as you know, lost my wedding ring in the Bahamas on vacation with the family in March. Got it back over the weekend. As a matter of fact,
is that it?
It is not it.
Okay.
It is not it. This was actually purchased over the weekend on my anniversary because I'm a sentimental guy.
Yeah, happy anniversary. We were going for that. Yeah.
The reason why I bring all this up is Aaron Rodgers is in Pittsburgh, and he's finally there. There it is. There he is, signing his contract, looking like a happy man, happy fella. It's just only, $10 million and change.
Only.
I mean, hey,
I'd punch somebody in the throat for $10 million.
I understand what you're saying. With $13 million and change, it's a fraction of Dak's annual salary.
Listen, what's he got to do with this?
He makes less than Daniel Jones.
The fascinating thing is Aaron Rodgers is finally there.
Yeah.
It's a practice for the Steelers. It's mandatory, and the Steelers are all there. Except for TJ Watt. And it's like, okay, Rodgers is finally there, and now it's like, is TJ Watt a problem? And TJ Watt wants more money. And TJ Watt deserves the more money. And he is earning $21 million this year. And I understand what we just said about Rodgers. Only you'd punch someone in the throat for $10 million. I hear you. But this is the National Football League. And guys who play in the National Football League make a lot of money for what they do, certainly comparatively to the rest of us mere mortals in the United States of America.
Facts.
And this guy making $21 million a year in his last year of his contract is not going to happen. Just that simple. I know his bro, JJ, said, I don't know if it was on Pat's show or not, he's not giving out any hometown discounts. And we've reached the point in time in the NFL where, yes, defensive ends, guys who sack quarterbacks for a living, guys who put quarterbacks on their ass for a living, guys who prevent this quarterback-driven league from driving down the field against their team, guys who improve the back end of the defense because they can get to the quarterback lickety-split. These guys are now treating themselves, and I do believe owners of the NFL treating them as if they are quarterbacks. They're beginning to get paid like quarterbacks. They're beginning to act when there's 1 year left on their deal like quarterbacks. Because Myles Garrett is making $40 a year. There's a ton of quarterbacks in the NFL who are making $40 a year, and they're considered dirt cheap. Garrett is making this coming year on a 4-year, $160 million deal. Figure it out, $40 a year. He's making $100 million in his first 3 years of a contract. And that's what TJ Watt's looking at. And I'll tell you this. He may not be there today. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get this thing done. They're very confident. I haven't heard a single soul thinking that this is going to be an issue once the season begins. $21 million a year for a guy who is on par with Myles Garrett. Ain't going to happen. That's why he's not there. And I'm sure the Steelers are, Jerry Dulac was on yesterday's program, already down the road. They'll figure it out. There's no way they're going to let this guy go through the entirety of training camp without getting something that both feel are commensurate with each other. TJ Watt turns 31 in October. Myles Garrett turns 30 on the 29th of December. $123 million guaranteed, $100 million in the first 3 years. That's what TJ Watt's going to ask the Steelers for, or pennies more than that, and he'll get it. It's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I'll say this. What was that noise for? What was that noise for?
I mean, would you rather pay out $100 and whatever million or have 2 first-round picks?
Dude, this is the moment for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They're not winning the Super Bowl.
You could keep saying that.
Get a couple first-round picks
on
and
carping about how
boost up
it's
your
not
team for the
going to
years to
happen.
come.
You could keep on throwing them in the bottom 5 of the NFL in your powerless rankings, sir.
Way too early. Powerless.
Okay, understood.
Way too early.
The way too early powerless rankings. But right now, the eggs in the basket for the Pittsburgh Steelers have 2025 written all over them. They've got a 42-year-old guy later on in December playing quarterback on a 1-year deal.
That's a whole other issue.
And year two of listen, pal, you may have a spot-on crystal ball of the Pittsburgh Steelers season and plan for their season. You may be dead accurate by the end of the day about it. But the plan is what it is. And what it is Rodgers is their quarterback. And Cameron Hayward is right there in the middle of the defensive line that they used a first-round selection on to fortify instead of getting whatever quarterback that they feel could be the guy of the future or anybody else at the position, whatever wide receiver that they kind of wanted, or if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to use in my head, was Omarion Hampton still on the board? I'm trying to figure that out. I think the Steelers chose before the Los Angeles Chargers. They could have gone in any of those directions. But what they wound up doing is what they did. And what they're doing is what they're doing. I know that sounds ridiculous if you wrote it out, what I just said verbatim.
They took Derek Harmon one pick before Omarion Hampton.
This is their plan. Now, they're not looking over the steering wheel saying, you know what, TJ Watt is not going to just be sitting at home week 1 when we're strolling into MetLife with Aaron Rodgers and his brothers in the booth for CBS, because I do believe that is the plan for week 1, is JJ's first game sitting next to Ian Eagle is in MetLife, Rodgers versus his former team, and the Ron that said, coming out from the coast, and I'll tell you something I could have FaceTimed you about. There's no way they're going to have TJ Watt sitting at home pissed off because they're in some contractual dispute saying, we've got the cards in our hands to keep franchise tagging you, and we'll play. You're going to play for half of Myles Garrett at age 30, going on 31. That ain't happening. That is not happening. And I know you will keep on sawing over there, Chris, and to use a literary phrase, tilting at the windmill of one day a team is just going to tell their veteran, pound sand, we are going to say to quarterback A or lineman A, via con Dios. We're going to use draft picks, and we're going to keep on replenishing, and we're going to win Super Bowls that way. You are looking for that team, and you're still stuck in the laboratory.
But, Chris,
that ain't happening.
Don't you feel that, like, if a team does that, right, you have a veteran who does everything right, everyone loves him, and they just let him go, is that going to make other free agents and other players want to go and play for that franchise?
If they're winning, yes, they'll want to come.
Dude, I see you, which is what I tell my children. I see you. I understand the way you're feeling. That's just not the way of the world. It is not going to happen in the NFL, and the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't going to be the first team to try it because Rodgers is there, and they're going to have T.J. Watt, and they're going to keep him there. They're going to give him a contract, and we're going to sit here one day and talk about he's going to retire a Steeler. That moment happens this summer. It's just not going to happen now because it doesn't have to happen now, and the NFL works that way. He will be signed. He will be generationally enriched in the manner that already adds to his generational enrichment. And he will be there, and he will be gunning for Justin Fields in week 1, and we will all be watching. And you, at the end of the day, Chris, might be proven correct that this is the wrong way to go about it. We can all be right. We can all be right.
Yeah.
I got
except for the fact that I think it's going to work out, and I prefer that I'm right all the time. Okay?
I got
to be honest.
Rich, I got a black and gold feather pen. He can sign that.
There you go.
That deal. It's right here.
Isn't that lovely?
You know,
put it on the budget.
I'd rather have 2 first-round picks.
I know you would, but that's but in order and then we'll take a break because Jeff Teague is going to join us in 5 minutes time to talk some NBA on his birthday, I might add.
Oh, nice.
To do what you're saying, they will have to keep T.J. Watt at home, go through the entire training camp, having everybody asking, where the hell is he? And then at the end of the day, go into MetLife without him. Because he, after all that he has done, all that he has engendered in goodwill within his system, locker room, teammate universe, and city, he is not going to show up for half of Myles Garrett's money when he is just as good as Myles Garrett, if not better on occasion, and is top of his game and will join his brother in the bust room one day. He ain't doing it. He's got one last shot, and defensive ends in this world of the NFL now are like, we are being paid like quarterbacks. You are treating us like quarterbacks. And I don't think the Steelers are going to treat him like Kirk Cousins, where you keep on sticking around and we'll keep franchise tagging you. That's just not happening. With Rodgers showing up today, I just can't believe it. Rodgers is finally there, and T.J. Watt isn't. But you'll see him week 1 with Rodgers in Rodgers' former place of work. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.